Alright. The next one does not have a author's page. So, but it does say here Sarge, I believe, is how you pronounce it. Maybe I'm wrong. But Sarge wrote Primordial Worm, and worm written like, you know, like the dragons, worm. Not like a worm. Not little small little things. The big boys, the big lads. Alright. Here we go. Let me check on my friend real quick, because she was having a mental breakdown about her baby. It looks like she's busy. So okay, up to class Euclid. Special containment procedures as of 7/4/2000. The entrance to the tunnel in which SCP-2141 resides must always remain unobstructed. Mobile Task Force Omega 23, under the command of Site Administrator L, has been designated as a primary unit responsible for secure containment procedure regarding SCP-2141. Alright, Howard, thank you for stopping by, even if it was just for a little bit. Yeah, I'll talk to you later on Discord, and otherwise I'll see you next weekend. Got myself water. Don't worry about it. Logistics for containment of SCP-2141 are provided by Professional Containment Site 141, located at 44.0437 degree north, 72.9265 degree west, 6 km due east by northeast of SCP-2141. This site operates under the front of a Forest Service outpost. When -1 emerges from SCP-2141 and attempts escape, personnel must record the date and time of the anomaly appearance and its observable movement patterns, including average velocity and any instance of -1 delving underground. Following acquisition of requested data, personnel must fire upon -1 with weapon ammunition only until it is incapacitated. Personnel must lastly contact Site Administrator L to confirm that SCP-2141 has retrieved -1 and returned to its underground dormant state. Let me see the title again. Primordial Worm, yeah. Description: SCP-2141 is an immense earthworm like... I just said you're not a worm, man. Earthworm-like creature located within a derelict tunnel at 44.0345 degrees north and 73.9416 degrees west, near the Adirondack Mountain or Adirondack Mountains. SCP-2141's dimensions exceed the dimension of the tunnel, with an average diameter of 8.5 meters and a currently undefined length. No instance of SCP-2141's emergence has resulted in the emergence of its entire body. It is theorized that SCP-2141 is a spatial anomaly able to condense its body while within the tunnel in order to compensate for its massive size. Mild video and radio interference occurs within approximately 5 kilometers of the tunnel's entrance. However, all electronic equipment used beyond 49 meters of the entrance becomes permanently non-functional. Is this the Alaskan Bull Worm? Like, is that what we're dealing with? Following incident SCP-2141 periodically emerges from a chasm of unknown depths estimated 200 meters beyond the entrance of the tunnel between intervals of 18 days. Upon emergence, SCP-2141 deposits -1 at approximately 50 meters within the tunnel. -1 is a disfigured female humanoid believed to be a thorough mutation of the body of Mrs. after extensive exposure to SCP-2141. Its prominent features include a severely bloated abdomen as well as a viscous coating of pale yellow fluid. To achieve displacement, -1 aligns itself face up and parallel to surface upon which it slithers, using this fluid to mitigate friction forces. No thanks, that sounds nasty. This fluid also bestows -1 increased resistance to physical trauma, allowing the anomaly in one event to survive and make limited recovery from lower body amputation. Following Incident 2, SCP-2141 is considered to be using -1 as a form of gestational, I'm an idiot, bear with me, guys. Sometimes my idiocracy is bigger than I anticipated.
Gestational.
Gestational. Okay. Nesting probe to discover suitable habitats for the birth of its offspring. God! Consequently, SCP-2141 is fiercely protective of -1 and will immediately pursue it if it is incapacitated. However, SCP-2141 does not appear to respond to other non-fatal damage to -1. We already had a grandpa bear, and now we have a giant worm that's like, don't get too close to her. Unless -1 is incapacitated outside of the tunnel during escape attempts, SCP-2141 does not attempt aggress, facilitating containment procedures. However, SCP-2141 will not return to its dormant state unless it has retrieved -1 following incapacitation. When undergoing retrieval, SCP-2141's high speeds between 5 and km per hour and size cause extensive damage to the landscape as a consequence of its size. In rare circumstances, -1 has been known to emulate the behavior of SCP-2141, such as its velocity and tendency to momentarily delve on the ground. See Incident 3. Okay, so we have all the incidents here. So the first one is on the 5th, 21st, 2000. Let's see what this one is all about. Howard lied to me. He said it would be mid-sized. Okay, regarding the emergence of SCP-2141, discovery of SCP-2141 occurring during routine SAR mapping of the northeastern US in an effort to detect further instances of subterranean anomalies following discovery and containment of SCP. And here we have synthetic aperture radar. Radar imaging due northwest of the Adirondack Park revealed imaging distortion surpassing absolute thresholds, prompting researchers to send one remote control GPR on unit to the affected coordinates to conduct a subsurface survey. Ground penetrating radar, gotcha. Electromagnetic interference prevented the unit from detecting subsurface anomalies, but a video feed attached to the unit while subject to interference eventually discovered SCP-2141's habitat at the above coordinates upon discovering a trail not found on any known maps. Foundation agents embedded in the Forest Service were activated to secure the perimeter of the tunnel. However, agents reported that it existed within the private property of the family, consisting of one vacation home seasonally occupied by a married couple of 1 year, Mr. and Mrs. Discreet surveillance and exploration of the area continued, and 2 field agents posing as Forest Service rangers were sent to the residence of Mr. and Mrs. upon their arrival to extract official permission to survey the tunnel under the guise of removing hazardous material and dangerous local fauna. Upon the arrival of field agents to his home, Mr. reacted violently when questioned regarding the tunnel housing SCP-2141, lunging at the agents with a ceremonial knife which could not be recovered from the scene. Agents responded with force, shooting Mr. twice in the abdomen. The wounds were believed to be non-fatal, but upon being injured, Mr. self-terminated by slashing his throat. Okay, good sir, you don't need to do that. Within 3 minutes, SCP-2141 arrived at the seasonal home, demolishing the structure and consuming Mrs. Okay. Hold on a minute. Okay, it's randomized. It just happens to my music. It just happens that it was playing all of the Crisis City music. Okay. Upon the arrival of field agents to his home. Wait, hold on. Yeah, the surviving agents was gravely injured, but managed to recover the following document upon arrival of Foundation personnel on the scene. Documents recovered from the home of Mr. The mother must not be denied her offspring. Though tomorrow I betray your trust, beloved, know that it is in the service of maternity beyond the ken of both man and woman. And know that I shall pay for any wrong I have done unto you in my own blood, as the most of paternity. But the father must not be denied his birthright. Though my father and my father's fathers and their fathers before them all failed to fulfill their paternal obligation, obligation. My father did pass on to me the knowledge of how to claim my inheritance. It is not the will of my forefathers I invoke, but the will of primordial existence, long denied the fruits of labor undeservedly enjoyed by humanity. Do you not know 'twas not for humanity that carnal knowledge was intended, but the Wyrm? We depart in the scorching contamination of daylight. I feel my resolve wavering before me in the lines of stinking heat, but tonight the moon shall be full with the promise of delivery. Also let the deliverance come. No, I shall not ask for forgiveness. You will not bear a son, but you will bear witness with something infinitely greater. In your 21st year of womanhood, you shall free us from our original sin. The organism revealed to reside within the tunnel chasm has since been termed SCP-2141. Both individuals are now effectively considered deceased. Ownership of the territory surrounding SCP-2141's habitat has since been transferred directly to the Foundation, facilitating effective containment. And then we have Incident 2, which takes place on the 6/23rd, 2000. Regarding Mrs. reappearance, until further notice, -1 has been designated to describe all instances of Mrs. reemergence. The first such emergence occurred at 8:41 p.m. on the 6/23rd, 2000, interrupting research being conducted near the tunnel to determine the geological age of the site. Senior researcher L ordered personnel to non-lethally incapacitate -1 for retrieval and biopsy to confirm her hypothesis that SCP-2141 had selected Mrs. as a host for its offspring. She further ordered personnel to delay recovering -1 in the event that SCP-2141 emerged in an attempt to reclaim the body. SCP-2141 emerged shortly after incapacitation of -1 and reclaimed its body before immediately returning underground. Senior researcher L thus recommends incapacitation of -1 immediately. After any initial appearance, containment procedures have been adjusted accordingly. While researchers were unable to collect -1 for testing, fluids collected on the scene left by -1 are somewhat consistent with trace elements of amniotic fluid. Senior researcher L earlier conjectured that SCP-2141 may be incubating offspring between intervals of its emergence is considered confirmed. Senior researcher L received a promotion to professional site administrator for her prudence and leadership on site. Tests conducted regarding the geological age of the area within and immediately surrounding the tunnel were inconclusive. Incident 3, 7/4, 2000. So the first incident is definitely like, the appearance of 2141 plus a weird ritualistic sacrifice of the Mr. Blanks. And then the second incident is her coming back. Now we have the third incident, which let's see what happens here. Following incident 2, professional containment procedures were established on the order of Site Administrator L, including the construction of a barricade to obstruct the motion of -1. At 2:37 p.m., within 6 minutes of finalization of construction, -1 appeared just outside of constructed barrier, emerging from underground. It immediately moved due south by southwest at an approximate velocity of between 5 and kilometers per hour. It's pretty fucking fast. Continuing to delve underground and resurface between very short intervals as few as 0.03 seconds. That, yeah, as I said, fast. Hey, can you see if you meet Jormungandr anywhere down there? At the time, I mean, that is an SCP, so it could. At the time, such movement patterns were unprecedented, and on-site personnel were unable to incapacitate -1 and prevent containment breach. -1 was instead incapacitated following a collision on Interstate 91 with a trailer truck, which resulted in the amputation of -1 above the knee. Ooh. That is painful. But you cannot run anymore now. You have to be careful. Honestly, I wonder how often like speedsters were close to losing a leg in any other fiction, SCP-2141 reclaimed both the incapacitated body of -1 and its severed remains upon arrival. Can you imagine? You see a woman suddenly on the ground, legs just gone, and next thing you know, a giant Wyrm just shows up. Foundation agents on the scene reported casualties, and 10 of which were Foundation personnel. Additionally, severe structural damage was caused to Interstate 91, with property damage incurred of 8 million. That is... ugh. The aftermath was publicly explained as a series of avalanches, mudslides, and sinkholes prompted by nearby activity of the building company. After the consequential bankruptcy of the company, the Foundation was able to significantly increase its presence in the area near SB2141 by offering front service to repair damages and by occupying many vacant Forest Services positions. In spite of having traveled a distance of kilometers, SB2141 was known to be continuous for the entire length of its head to its initial point of origin. Additionally, the anomaly has been determined to be the source of video and radio interference originating within SB2141, with this effect extending along its entire length. It is believed that this interference resulted from the anomalous spatial effects caused by SB2141. Class A amnestics administered by agents posing as paramedics on scene thus ensured that the public remained unaware of SB2141's existence. And here we have an interview log, 2141- 2000, and then 2000. Yeah, okay, here we go. Interviewed Professional Containment Site 141 Administrator DL 141. Interviewer Site 28 Administrator Admin 28. Location Site 28 New York, New York. Begin log 7:25 p.m. 2000. An interview room? What the fuck? You called me. You told me it was serious. Now it's serious. This is standard procedure. You have urgent information to share regarding 2141, correct? You think we had you airlifted from upstate so you could make a courtesy call? Off the books isn't a card you have in your hand right now. I called the 05s. Pauses. 28, not you. They deferred me to your expertise. The point, what the 05s decide isn't something I decide, you know that. Don't give me that crap. It's because of incident 21413. They don't trust my, what's the term? Operational judgment. Professional discretion? What's the terminology for all thinking I'm a hysterical bitch? Y'all airholed me out here so I could explain myself. There was a lot of damage. Not only Foundation lives lost, but civilians. We cleaned it up. We're still cleaning it up. But I think it's reasonable that if the 05 Council would like someone to confirm that what you have for us today isn't going to result in another. So that's the point, huh? Fuck you. 28. Fuck you, 28. You think you would have done better? You've seen the reports, unprecedented. We had no reason to believe that blocking off 141-1's exit to such a limited extent, I might add, will cause a containment breach. The damn thing, pauses, he's been learning. From SB2141, you claim. It's fucking Euclid class, 28. Most of what I have is claims. But the claims backed by solid evidence. See incident 1, she's it. -1. It-1. I would think that at your position you would have learned a degree of professional distance. Lord knows I've had to. Silent. Look, Administrator, we are on your side. But you have to understand that this isn't politics. This is protection. These are priorities. Secure, contain, protect. I know. I fucked up. You made an operational error due to the high variability of anomalous properties complicating containment. You need to get used to this. You're right. I've seen the reports. And there were other researchers on site who agreed with your decision to revise containment procedures. Those deaths aren't your fault any more than -1's predicament is. The fault of the deceased wife, the only one who is to blame. Well, actually, it might as well be our reality. This is some kind of evil, huh? As I said, standard protocol. We don't think you're, what was your term? A highly pressured upper-level employee of the Foundation subject to typical stressors and psychological distress in the course of professional operations? You're learning. Yeah, I guess I am. We're taking you seriously. What do you have for us? Here, hands the document to Admin 28. Increased instances of SCP-2141 delving underground, continues reading, and -1 is emerging at a greater average frequency, around every 18 days or so. But existing containment procedures have been effective? If this keeps up, they won't be. What do you mean? Like I was saying, it's learning. The anomaly is emulating the behavior, and in some cases, the appearance of SCP-2141. That viscous coating. She had that from day one. But we've noticed other things, such as her eyes, her sclerae, her irides, they were darkened considerably, and what looks like cataracts on her eyes makes us think she's not using them, if she ever was. For the first few emergencies after Incident 3, she was bumping into the walls, moving more erratically, but has since stabilized. SCP-2141 doesn't have eyes. How it gets around, how it detects -1's location is all mystery to us. So there's just one piece of evidence that -1 is becoming more like its progenitor? Oh my god. Yeah, that word. You guys know. Yes, but there's others. The delving on the ground, the erratic velocities, yes, nothing like what we saw during Incident 3, but enough to make us worry. If it ever exhibits that kind of behavior again, existing containment procedures won't suffice. Correct. Are you proposing terminating -1 to prevent containment breach? Fuck no. For all we know, the thing can probably regenerate. I'm proposing neutralizing SCP-2141. What? How? The sheer size alone, if we even could kill it. Neutralize it? How would we dispose of the remains? I know, but something that has to be done. I tried hindering the movement of -1. It doesn't work, and I do not recommend trying it again. Even if it could work, the cost of a mistake are excessive. Especially if we don't get the kind of godsend we got from the freaking 18-wheeler. Do you know how close its projected path put it to this site? What would have happened if that truck hadn't hit it? And then we don't even know what would have happened if the collision had neutralized it. Exactly, and look further down. Personnel on site have additionally reported increased seismic activity in the immediate vicinity of SCP-2141 while dormant. Fuck. Exactly again. And we can't get a reading of whatever is happening down there. Interference blocks of all attempts to use GPR beyond kilometers. Jesus Christ. So you see why I'm here. There's a timetable on this. We don't know what SCP-2141 is doing in response to our containment procedures. We can't guarantee that any containment procedure we design will prevent unprecedented anomalous behavior. This isn't the first time that a skip has presented a threat to existing containment procedures, but this one is coming fast and we're ready to deal with. Those greater frequencies of -1's emergence, they represent decreases in the time it takes for SCP-2141 to incubate one of its offspring. What do you have to do to support the claim? What do you have to support that claim? Not much. But if these things need to be carried to term as they apparently do, it's unlikely that all that shit we put -1 through allows those devastating shits to survive inside of her. At the very least, we think SCP-2141 is doing damage control whenever it proclaims -1. Rehabilitating the trauma to the infant. But even more of these things would be hell on our ability to contain the situation. Not to mention hell on our budget. I've yet to see hell freeze over cold enough to freeze out our funds, D. Yeah, and that's probably because it's been the last thing you see. True. I'm sending a log of our conversation over to DO5. On those recommendation, we'll prioritize intimidation of SCP-2141. Fantastic. Son of shuffling sheets of paper. Wait, one more thing. What is it? I've got a flight to catch in less than 5 minutes, apparently. The document from Incident 1. DO5 wants your assessment of it. It's not included in the report. That lunatic's writing? I don't know what the hell he's on about, and frankly I don't care. Maybe there's in some pre-civilization legend about this thing we're dealing with. What I'm worried about is that there might be more idiots like him, or even other locations where things like this are lying dormant. My assessment of that document is that there's only one SCP-2141, given the way he refers to the anomaly as unique. But it's not an airtight conclusion. As you said, few things are. Keep up the good work. End log 7:58 p.m. 2000. Site Administrator L has since been cleared of all charges of misconduct or negligence in her operational duties. Hey, good for you. Good for you. They learned that you are not an idiot. And you can be trusted. Good for you. Whew. Can you imagine like a woman like just like, oh yeah, she's slowly becoming a like very similar to a giant worm. She gains that speed, she gains the slickness. That would be gross. Disgusting. Okay.